Welcome everyone to another session of the Financial Boss Summit, presented to you by Black Girl Fin Magic. We're really excited to have Ms. Zinnia Adams here today. So Zinnia is a speaker that is very personable and prides herself on finding realistic solutions. Her mission is to not scold you for what you did wrong, but she is here to help you get it right. Rome wasn't built in a day. Let her inspire you to take the first step. I love that approach because a lot of people get scared to ask for help and they feel like they're going to be shamed. So tell us, how did you kind of get into this whole personal finance thing and teaching it?
Well, my background, I grew up in Chicago, on the west side of Chicago. I was born to a single parent. So, of course, finances were a struggle because I was the third of her children. And then I myself became a teenage single parent myself. So of course, finances in any single parent situation, finances becomes a bit of a struggle or juggling act. I mean, whatever you want to call it. So I kind of had to learn and navigate these things on my own. And then when I was presented with wanting to make a better family for my daughter and buy a home and things like that, when I approached to go get one, the loan officer was like, no, this is not going to work. So I literally had to self-correct. I had to learn about credit and correct mine, learn about budgeting, savings, and I was able to purchase my first home at 27.
Wow, so, congratulations.
Yes, thank you. So, but I had to learn. So once I learned, I became this personal finance advisor for my friends. Like once they knew that I knew the process and I successfully got in my home, it's like, oh, okay, well, she knows what to do. And it helped me realize that so many people need this information because we didn't really receive it. Mm-hmm. And I've always been passionate about money and finances. I can talk all day about anything money related. So once I finished school and everything, it was like, okay, I'm going to follow my passion and I want to go and help.
Well, thank you so much for jumping into it. This is part of the reason why we wanted to create this summit. One, we knew so many people in our community that's teaching it, but also with everything that's going on, there's a lot of fear and uncertainty out there. And a lot of people are just like, something's got to change, right? And so hopefully they're learning something from the summit and able to take actual steps. So, we hear all the same things about savings, watch your money, track it, create a budget. But are there any outside the box thinking kind of deals that when it comes to saving that you can give the audience?
So I actually pride myself on having creative ways that I do different things to save money, and I normally share them on my page. So one of the things is I do my own hair. So YouTube University, any small thing that you're looking to learn to do, I use YouTube to do it. Facebook groups, joining Facebook groups that are focused on whatever it is you're trying to learn, and you can gain some the knowledge you can gain by searching a Facebook group, it can't be purchased because that's live experience that different individuals are sharing, that even if you went to college, I have an MBA, but there are things that I have learned from life and actually experiencing. And when you join these groups, it will also help you learn those things. So learning to do my own hair, little things I suggest. You're going on vacation or you're going to be gone from home, all of your big electronics connected to a surge protector and unplug it. Because if you're not home, why is that still plugged up? So things like that. Warning your children, how many rooms can you be in at one time? You only can be in at one, so that's how many rooms you should have the lights on in. Little things like that will help bring your light bill down, minimizing your expenses as well as possible. Maybe if you have older children, everybody gets their night to cook dinner, which will prevent you from eating out at fine dining restaurants, especially since a lot of us are home now. Perfect opportunity to work with teaching your children about finances and making activities out of it. So that's something else that you can do that would be more economical as opposed to, oh, let's go to this or let's go to that. Okay, let's sit down. I even have a post I made with different websites. Find a website that has games and interactive activities for children to learn, and that kind of gives them something to do that's interactive. Now we have a lot of virtual activities. Even once COVID is over, continue those virtual activities. Have you and your friends we're doing Family Feud this Saturday.
Nice.
Over by Zoom, but just because COVID is over don't mean you have to stop those things. And yes, you have your vices that you want, but sometimes temporary sacrifices are necessary to reach the ultimate goal. And when you reach your goal, then you realize you really didn't need them in the first place. You're welcome to return back to them, but sometimes you really don't, because you find out like, well, I didn't really need that like I thought I did. So things like that I normally suggest to individuals. Nails, minimizing your nails. Maybe just get a regular manicure. You don't have to get a no-chip manicure. As long as your nails are still looking presentable, you're groomed well and things like that. That's another addition that you can save. When you make your family meals, make them based on the sales paper. Don't just say, oh, I want to cook this. Use the sales paper on Sunday or Saturday, whatever day it comes out, and see what items are on sale and what meals you can make from that, and you'll save money in your general grocery bill, because you're buying things that are more economical. It's kind of the same way I travel. I travel by deals. I don't say, oh, I want to go to this place. I look and see what the deals that are going, and then I let that choose where I'm going, and I let the calendar tell me what days I will travel. So things like that saves a ton of money, by doing things during off-peak season. So those are just some of the things that I suggest individuals can do that are not the typical, oh, just track your expenses. Also, when you make a budget, a lot of times they tell you, like you say, they just say make a budget. I say make separate budgets, because if you have side income, if you have a second job, things like that, I say separate those incomes, and your monthly overhead should be 30% of only your main income. It should not be 30% of all the income that you have coming in. A side gig, try your best to use it as that, a side gig, which means disposable income, additional money for savings, investments, and debt repayment, but not having your main overhead for the household requiring or depending upon that side money that may not be a necessity. You know what I mean? Or it may not be. So things like that, if you get your bills to 30% of your main income, your side income becomes just that. So just working on minimizing that, reviewing cable bills, reviewing cell phones bill. Everybody automatically gets unlimited, but maybe you don't need unlimited. How much internet are you actually using? And then look at the plans that a company has that you might be able to reduce your cell phone bill. Maybe you might be able to move to Boost Mobile or Cricket temporarily until you're able to reach financial goals. Things like that as long as you have cell phone service and you have data, which a lot of times we're connected to Wi-Fi most of the time anyway, things like that can help you save. You can port your number now, so it's not like you will lose your cell phone number. Nobody will know you left, T-Mobile. You still have a phone that works. You're able to use it, but you cut your bill down. Checking subscriptions. Take your credit card numbers and your debit card numbers off of PayPal, Amazon, Uber, Lyft, all of those different things like that make it really easy to spend. Take the cards off. And don't make it so easy to just one-click shopping. Things like that can help you save. Opting out of all of the text alerts. Canceling all those subscriptions to different magazines that are going to send you those tempting emails that's going to make you want to purchase. So it's just so many little things you can do, but when you put all of them in action, they really can add up to you'll see significant savings, and you'll find money already within the budget you have.
You made some great points. I'm going to circle back to the beginning when you were talking about teaching your kids how to cook or have them each have a night. Now, not everyone in the audience has kids, but not only are you teaching them money, but you're also teaching them a life skill that I think a lot of people haven't been taught,
Absolutely. And they will appreciate it when they get to college.
Oh, yeah. So I like that. And you gave a lot of great tips, like things that we don't really normally think about. So,
Mhm.
you hear a lot of people talk about, yeah, you may not need that Netflix subscription. So take a look at that. But I like how creative you got about with some of those ideas. Is not necessarily you have to chop that out, but, just be mindful of everything and how you can get creative. And I
Correct.
really loved when you talked about not counting your side hustle money or an extra job money in with your overall budget, because there could be that mindset, especially like if you get a promotion, you just got paid more, so you think you have more money, so you spend more. I've
Mhm.
known a lot of six-figure
Exactly.
people that was still living paycheck to paycheck. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So if you can create that mindset of, okay, that's extra money, but that is not included. This is the budget I'm going to stick with. That way, that money, when that comes in, you're like, yes, extra money, I can just throw it at my debt, or, I can start
Absolutely.
saving.
Correct. And
So I like
investing,
that.
whatever it is. Absolutely. And I think it's important, like you say, six-figure individuals a lot of times are still living paycheck to paycheck. But I believe it's a mindset we have. Like when I'm talking about curbing spending, I tell people all the time, I literally had this conversation with my daughter because I have an 18-year-old daughter. She'll be 19 in May. Next month, she'll be 19. And I told her, she was saying, oh, she bought something. And she's like, oh, but it was 130. I got it for 100. I said, no, you didn't save $30. You spent 100.
Mm-hmm.
I said, and she was like, well, no, because it was on sale. I said, no, but I'm trying to tell you about your mindset. I said, so you're telling yourself, oh, you saved $30 to convince yourself that it's okay and to make yourself feel like it's all right to make the purchase. But when you think about it as the way that you spent $100, then you don't feel as good about that purchase. And it's really when people, that's another thing a lot of financial or personal finance specialists say, change your money mindset, but it's not really explained as much,
Yeah.
but that's what it really breaks down to. That's changing your mindset. When you're not thinking about it at how much you saved, but you're thinking about how much you spent or what else you could have done with that money. How much interest would $100 extra on your credit card might have saved you that month, as opposed to, so basically changing the way you think about money and how you feel is really what it goes back to, because we like, oh, I haven't bought myself anything in a while. I
Yeah.
deserve this. Why do you have to convince yourself that you deserve it? You deserve to have money in your account. You deserve to have an emergency savings. That's what you deserve.
That was
But
the lie I used to tell myself, because I
we
would,
all did. I did
yeah.
too. You're like, oh, I worked really hard this month. We find so many excuses and reasons why we deserve to make that purchase. And it's like, no, you deserve to save and to be financially stable.
Yeah.
That's what you really deserve.
I love when you said, it's like, no, you spent $100. You didn't save $30. And I had
Right.
to get that reality check like years ago. And sometimes I still need that reality check.
We
And
all do. We all do.
yeah. So I like to ask myself the questions like, okay, Tina, if this was full price, not on sale, would you have no hesitation still buying it and be okay? Like be okay with the decision, and it's not going
Yeah.
to hurt you anywhere else or
And
feel
that's a tough
guilty.
question. It's a
Yeah.
tough question. It is. Even the pausing and asking yourself, do I need this or do I want this? Is this a necessity? Like asking yourself that question and being real with yourself,
Mm-hmm.
because that's another part of the
Yeah.
mindset, being upfront and honest with yourself, even if you have to walk in the bathroom mirror and have a nice little chat with you, like, look, girl.
You don't even want to look at yourself sometimes. Have you been there?
Like girl, like sometimes you do. That's what you have to
Yeah.
do. Like even with fitness, you have to have that little chat with yourself sometimes. It's a
Mm-hmm.
necessity. It's a necessity.
Yeah. And we definitely covered a lot about money mindset in day one, but I'm
Oh,
really
good.
loving that all the speakers throughout each day are bringing that up, because that is going to be a big thing to kind of work through and overcome if you want to get to that big financial goal.
Absolutely. It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge. It's huge because it's everything. Because sometimes it's really hard. It's not something, like I say, Rome was not built in a day.
Mm-mm.
So it's going to take you to be consistent and motivated and on it and dealing with those tough days and finding ways to remotivate yourself and get your second win and maybe your third and fourth win. So
Yeah.
it's definitely something about working to change your mindset. And also you want to correct the issue and then stay that way.
Yeah.
you don't want to fall right back. So a lot of times people say, oh, well, I'm getting my taxes. Should I take my income tax and pay off my credit cards? And I don't think that's a good idea, because if you just pay it off like that, it's really quick and easy to run it back up. But if you worked hard and you picked up a second job and you budgeted for 6 months and you tracked your expenses and monitored what you purchased, and you took 6 months to pay that card off, you're going to be a little bit more hesitant about running it back up. You're not going to be as eager to run it back up if you just, as opposed to if you just deleted it in a day, like, oh, okay, it's gone.
That's a great perspective, because once it's gone, it's like, oh, I have this card and I can use it again. It's easy to slip into that habit again.
But if you worked hard to relieve yourself of that debt, it's going to be like, oh, no, because last time I had to work 24 extra hours that week and I didn't get any sleep, and I don't want to go back to that. It makes it worth it,
Yeah. And sometimes just having that big chunk of money come back to you, have it in savings, even though you have a lot in debt. If you already have money allocated to pay off that debt and a little more than the minimum, that maybe having that big chunk of that refund in your savings account is going to make you feel better. So if something did come up, then like, okay, I have that money in there to kind of cover that, and I still can pay down this debt.
And I always tell people, your savings is your seed money. Whatever wealth you are attempting to acquire, whatever financial freedom you are seeking, debt freedom, financial freedom, any of it, you will need seed money. If you're starting a business, you need startup capital. If you're purchasing real estate, you need down payment, closing costs. Pay your insurance in full by the closing date. So you have so many different things that you need if you want to invest. They're not just passing out stocks. Yeah. You have to purchase them. And you can save up $300, but that's not going to get you many stocks. You know what I mean? Yeah. Unless you're buying like penny stocks and things like that. But if you're looking to be a investor, you're looking to be financially comfortable and create generational wealth for your children, you need startup money, you need seed money, and that savings can be your start to being a millionaire. Like, it has to start from somewhere. And if you don't start building that wealth now, or building that money to have, and being okay with it being money sitting in your account and not feeling like you have to spend it, it can be the start. The sky's the limit, to be honest.
That's a great way to kind of look at your savings. I know a lot of people who start to save for emergency fund, a lot of them kind of get discouraged. One, saving 3 to 6 months seems overwhelming. And also when it's called like an emergency fund, a lot of people just think, oh, I'm just saving this money for someone to take it away from me. But if they can think about it as like seed money for future investments where the money's going to make money for them, they might be more inclined to actually be serious about saving.
And not only that, set specific goals. So you can say, okay, I'm going to make an emergency fund, but find out exactly what the amount is that you want to put in that emergency fund. Because when you have specific set goals and set amounts that you are working towards, it's also motivating and helps, keep you motivated working towards it, because you have a set idea what you're working towards, as opposed to, like you say, just saying, most people just say put 4 to 6 months, but actually sit down and calculate what that 4 to 6 months looks like for you, and make sure that you're working to work towards that set amount. If you're going to save a down payment for a house, what's the specific amount? If you're moving across country, what's the specific amount you want to have? What goal are you working towards? Because when you know what you're working towards, I feel like you work a little bit harder. Yeah. As you get closer to it, it's more motivating, because it's like, oh, I only need $3,000 more. Like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Mm-hmm. Give yourself a set goal, a set specific, realistic goal. It's very important. Mm-hmm.
So why do you think individuals have a hard time with spending? Like, it's just so easy for them.
I think the way that everything is set up for you to spend. I mean, for instance, the stimulus check that everybody is referring to, he's sending it to you for you to spend. He's not sending that to you for you to put in your savings. Mm-hmm. He's sending it because he wants you to spend and boost the economy. The way that everything is set up, all the impulse shopping is the biggest budget killer.
Yeah.
Impulse shopping is the biggest budget killer. And like I say, it still goes back to your mindset. When you didn't learn the importance of money and how it works, and even with income types, like You learned about working to get income, but you didn't learn, oh, there's passive income, residual income, disposable income. Like, what are all these incomes? What are all these different things? Or they're always yelling, oh, well, every millionaire has 5 to 7 streams of income. But what kind?
Mm-hmm.
What type of incomes? Because I know they don't have 5 to 7 W-2.
I know, right?
It can't. There's no way. So I think that it's really easy to spend. Everything makes it easy. Amazon has one-click shopping. Now they have it where you can just tap your phone. They make it very easy for you to spend. Your credit cards, if you're spending, as long as you're paying it and you keep spending, Christmas time, maybe 2-3 months before Christmas, they're going to give you a boost because they're trying to encourage you to spend. Like, so it's the easy route out is to spend.
Yeah.
Because they make it really easy for you. Everything is super fast, super quick. You can save your account on almost anything. Almost any website, they have somewhere you can save your account. Google's like, hi, did you want us to save that credit card number? No, I do not.
No, they're always popping up like, hey.
Exactly. Like, back up. Okay, back up, Google. Back up. Like, it's always because they want to make it easy for you to click that button. Click that button, easy. Once stop clicking, and it's so much stuff you can buy. Money goes quickly. I think, and then even the way that we're raised, I don't feel like we're raised. Like my dad, when I was younger, he got me an account because, that's what you did. You got your child a savings account and you would take her to the bank and you would save in the bank. But I had no idea why I was saving in the bank.
Yep.
I didn't know why I was going to the bank to put this money in there or what the bank did or what a financial institution was or how it could benefit me or how I should use it to my advantage, because they're definitely going to use my money to their advantage. I didn't know any of that. So I feel like we just didn't have that. We didn't have that this is why you do this and you do that and then you pass that on. Talking about money was taboo.
Oh, it is. Even for my parents. My parents did the same things. Like, my dad, you need to save. And I was like, okay, but why was it important?
Right.
And maybe they didn't know how to explain it.
Right. Or even like the light bill, oh, you're running up my light bill. Okay, but what is a light bill? What am I running up? Like, why are you yelling at me for running this thing up? Like, how am I running it up? Things like that. They didn't, because it was more so like, well, I'm going to provide for you and I'm going to take care of things. You just be a child, Yeah. And that's another thing why I like to help teach parents creative ways to introduce money to their children, because it makes no sense for us to learn all of this and we're busting walls down, we're starting businesses, we're boosting our credit, and then we don't teach our children. So when we leave all this generational wealth, it withers away. Yeah. And now we're back at square one again. So it's important. I think it's a cliche word, but I think it falls down to the money mindset. I think it goes back to your mindset and your relationship with money. Some people spend because it's emotional. Yeah. Like it's a trigger. Maybe they're sad, so they go spend to, make it better.
I can see that. Well, you shared a lot of amazing gems today. I want to leave an opportunity. Is there anything else that you want the audience to walk away with today?
For one, my mission is let's make personal finance a family heirloom. Like, let's stop only passing down things and let's pass down the knowledge of financial literacy, which is the mission of my business. I do have a 5-day money challenge coming up if anybody wants to participate. It's a great 5-day intensive live trainings every day from me personally. There'll be emails with different tasks. It's about 30 minutes of your time a day, but it's really a great way to focus on your money for those 5 days. Other than that, I would say make sure you're sitting down and teaching your children about money, not just saying money, but like interest. What is interest? Credit cards. What are credit cards? How do they work? Discussing the different types of interest. What is compound interest? Some of those different terms so that they're not new to them, and get them an account and work on them on their spendings, because teenagers can blow through money faster than any of us.
Yeah.
Because they're not making it. They're not making it. they're not having to work for it. It's just magically appearing. So
And it's a great way
it
to
just,
make it a family thing, especially if you're just learning all this. Bring in the kids, bring in the family members. And I know a lot
and
of the
you
speakers
know,
talk about having money dates. So do a family thing.
and then you know that's the best way to stay on your goals. Tell your child about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because they'll remind you, I thought you said you weren't buying McDonald's. I thought
And you're
you said
like,
that you were buying it.
oh, that's what you want to listen to?
But they'll remind you when you
Yeah.
say you're not going to do something. They'll forget what you told them to do.
Yeah, and it's a great accountability for the whole family.
Oh, yes, because they'll tell you, I thought you said you wasn't buying any more shoes. I thought you said you were done. You're like, shut up. Okay. Like, you know, but you need that though. That's like the best accountability partner you can find, especially if they're like younger children that have no filter.
They really don't, do they?
They'll tell you. They're like, the other day you said that we weren't going to buy that. Like, and they'll fidget around it sometimes, but they'll remind you, like, you're not supposed to be doing that. What are you doing? So that's my takeaway. Like you say, make it a family affair. Definitely make it a family affair and work on their spending now, because they have to go through the woes of still spending, but do it together. Help each other and learn together.
That's awesome. Well, if anybody wants to learn more from you and follow you, where can they connect with you?
So on Facebook, it's Coins Cache, which is COINSCACHE. On Instagram, same thing. It's _coins_cache. My website is www.perspectiveschange.com. So everything pretty easy to follow, and you can find all that information.
Oh, so just like all our speakers, you can connect with her right here below the video. And don't forget to join her 5-day money challenge, which we also have right below. And if you had any aha moments with this session, do not forget to tag Zinnia or Black Girlfriend Magic, or use the hashtag Financial Boss Summit so we can share in those moments with you. Again, thank you so much for taking time out of your day, Zinnia. And to the audience, hopefully you learned something new today, and have a great day.
Thank you.